Yolanda Cornelia Giovanni, also known as Nikki Giovanni, was born on June 7, 1943, in Knoxville, Tennessee. She was raised in Lincoln Heights. Shortly after Giovanni's birth, the family of four moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. However, Giovanni, her sister Gary Ann, and their mother frequently visited their grandparents' house back at Knoxville. Giovanni goes on to complete first, second, and third grade at Oak Avenue School, but then switches to St. Simon's School where her mother was a third grade teacher. Continuing to study at St. Simon's School, she meets her seventh grade teacher, Sister Althea Augustine. Sister Althea Augustine later becomes a giant influence to Giovanni's writing, and the two become very close friends. When Giovanni started the ninth grade at Laughlin High School, her parents' rough relationship and arguments proved too difficult for Giovanni to handle, secretly hoping she could attend school in Knoxville. Giovanni then enters Austin High School, where she meets two other significant teachers, Mrs. Emma Stokes and the Miss Alfreda Delaney, who gave her a sense of justice and a sense of wanting to help people. The same teachers then persuade her to take an early admission into college. In 1960, Giovanni enrolls at Fisk University in Nashville, but is immediately faced with problems about her views. The Dean of Women, Ann Tatum, had a strict idea of what a Fisk student should be like that heavily opposed Giovanni's ideas of political awareness and intellectual seriousness that a college student should possess. On the Thanksgiving of 1960, she visits Knoxville to spend the holiday with her grandparents, without obtaining permission from the dean. She then visits the dean's office and tells her how much she hates the rules that the dean has placed. Giovanni is expelled from the university on February 1st, 1961, and goes on to live with her parents in Cincinnati. At this point, she begins to volunteer for children and takes courses at the University of Cincinnati. In 1964, Giovanni attempts to re-enroll into Fisk, and is pleased to see that Dean Tatum has been replaced by Blanche McConnell Cohen. In the fall of that year, Giovanni re-enrolls and does extremely well in academics and leadership with the help of Dean Cowan. Despite majoring in history, she took John Oliver Killen's writing workshop. After completing her degree on the 28th of January, her grandmother dies on March 8th, 2 days before Giovanni was to visit. In the year of 1968, Giovanni borrows money to publish for her first poetry book, Black Feeling, Black Talk. The proceeds went toward her publishment of her second book, Black Judgments. Giovanni was featured in the Amsterdam News and the New York Times in 1969. She gives birth to her son Thomas Watson Giovanni in Cincinnati the same year. In 1970, she is named Woman of the Year by Ebony magazine. Giovanni is given several more titles by many different magazines by the year 1971. In 1978, her father is diagnosed with cancer after a stroke and dies in June 8, 1982. Virginia Tech offers her a position as tenured full professor of English in 1989 and receives an honorary doctorate from Indiana University. Giovanni is diagnosed with lung cancer sometime in January of 1995 and travels to Cincinnati, Ohio for a surgery at Jewish Hospital. In 1997, Selected Poems of Nikki Giovanni is nominated for an NAACP Image Award and begins to travel on a book tour. Receives NAACP Image Award for Blues for All the Changes in 2000 and begins to serve on the board of directors of Mill Mountain Theater in 2001. Nikki Giovanni contributes to In the Spirit of Martin, The Living Legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a Smithsonian exhibit in 2003. Nikki Giovanni has a documentary filmed about her by the History Makers and has a species of bat named after her, Microneciteris Giovanni. In 2005, her mother dies on the 24th of June, and her sister on August 10th. Nikki Giovanni joins 5 choirs at James Madison University for concert on the 27th of February and wins HUES Leadership Network for Women of Color Award from University of Virginia's Women's Center. Over the course of her career, she has earned 25 honorary degrees and several other awards for her outstanding writing.